Liquidity ratios. So it's the measure of how easily a company can pay off its short-term debt with available cash and assets. So benchmark is 2 to 1. You can find some different research. What this means is if it costs you $40,000 a month to just keep your business open, you should theoretically have 80,000 of cash reserves. Okay. I'm going to turn to Cale and or Heather on this one as this gets a little bit more in the weeds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with it. I mean, we can't foresee a pandemic around the corner. So I know many of you went through that and it was much more than this. But yeah, I don't think that this is anything different than we coach.
Yeah. And it's just how would you explain liquidity ratio? It's just about making sure that we have enough money to cover us for a certain amount of time. Like for our personal, we say, hey, you should have 6 months of your income or whatever it costs for you to live saved up, right? That's the old adage in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this, and again, there's some tax implications. If you are keeping this money and you're putting it into your bank account, there's going to be tax implications on it. And you might be better off, I guess putting some tax strategies in place to where you bring that down, which keeps this 2 to 1 in a good place. If you were 6 to 1, well, you would have had to pay a lot of taxes to get up to that 6 to 1 along the way. So you're better off reinvesting a lot of cases in whether it's the next Anytime Fitness or the business yourself versus trying to build up this huge reserve. So yeah, that's what I'd add.
Great point. Yeah, if you have a 6 or 7 to 1 ratio, and so you have like $400,000 sitting in an account that's giving you 0.1% interest, that's not going to be good business sense either. So, okay.
Right.
All right. Conducting a health check, regular financial review routines. We want to identify red flags and opportunities for improvement. And here's like my recommendation for what you should review on a monthly, quarterly basis. So monthly reviews is analyzing your profit and loss statements monthly, monitoring cash flow, and reviewing membership metrics, right? Your KPIs and things like this monthly. Because again, if we look at everything all the time, then it's just overwhelming and we eventually just stop doing it. So those are the 3 things monthly. Then quarterly is evaluating your expense management, like evaluating all your expenses. Then assessing liquidity ratios quarterly, making sure you have enough cash for a rainy day. And then reviewing those balance sheets. I don't really review my balance sheets necessarily every month, but some people might, but I reserve them for quarterly. Then your yearly reviews, which is going to be your strategic financial planning, tax planning and compliance, and then benchmarking against industry standards, right? So looking at, again, what Stacy was saying, comparing where we're at compared to, I think industry, I think she implied the industry right now is at 12%. And Anytime Fitness is flat to 3.5, so we got some opportunity there. So that would be an example of benchmarking. Tax planning. All right, we can't do that on December 31st. That's not the best time to plan taxes for the existing year. So what do you think, Heather? When should we start looking at tax planning in the course of a year?
January 1st of the year.
The new year for the year.
Yeah, like it's kind of what we're obsessed with at FitBooks and where that gap was. So like we're always looking back on the quarter to prepare for the quarter ahead from a P&L standpoint, cash flow, and tax strategy. But yeah, like we're always talking about it.
Yep, that's right. So you might have an aggressive goal to go 20% up this year. Yeah. Boom, but then you plan. But then in June you're like, okay, let's bring it back down. We're probably gonna go 5% up. Or you know what? We plan on going 5, but it looks like we're crushing it because we added nutrition or we added recovery. So then we got to adjust. Correct?
Correct. Like reinvest in the business or prepare to buy your next business. And you can see that mid-year, not end of the year scrambling to buy some pickup you don't really need.
Yeah, that's an important point where sometimes we might buy a gym at the end of the year. I think I did that last year. If it's the right move, it's the right move. At the same time, though, you don't buy things that you don't need. Like one of the things I did last year is I bought a bunch of gym equipment, and we have a free place to store. So we spent like $200,000 on gym equipment that I knew I was going to use in 2025. So that was an okay move. So little things like that, but don't buy things that you don't need. All right. And be careful of that whole. So if you go to Costco, no, if you go to Stop and Shop or you go to whatever, Whole Foods, and you buy 2 rolls of paper towels and you put them in your house for the week, you're going to use those 2 rolls accordingly to what you have left. You go to Costco and you buy that 24 pack and you put that into your house, you're going to use, I think it's as much as double the amount of paper towels just because you think you have them. So there's an actual economic law. I forgot the law behind that principle, I should say. So keep that in mind. So if you're like, oh, I'm going to, same thing when we bought all that equipment. Yeah, did some people take a couple of the kettlebells that were laying in the warehouse and use them where they weren't supposed to? Sure. So just be careful with stuff like that. All right, ongoing practices. Make sure you have regular updating of financial forecasting, maintaining a dashboard, and engaging with financial advisors. That's going to be an important one for all of you to get that second piece of advice.